Hi. Hi, Mark. How are you, my friend? I'm happy to be here with you. Oh, crap. Let me put on the. Oh, crap. Let me put on the audio. Okay. Got it. I'm sorry. I was just trying to. Yeah, it spelled my name perfectly. I can't hear you. Just for people who are in the audience, I can't hear Mark. I don't know what's up with the volume, but hopefully everybody can understand me fine. Okay, so go ahead, Mark. Sorry. Okay. Oh, crap. Yeah. Yeah, nobody can hear you. Oh, crap. They can hear me, I think, but not you. Hey, Robert, you want me to do the show myself? Mark, Robert wants me to do the show myself. Hell no, I'm not gonna. Oh, oops. Hell no, I'm not gonna do that. How's everybody doing in the meantime? I can see all of you in the chat. Thank you for being here. Maybe I'll do my own intro. Nah, I'm just, just keep talking. I'll do my own intro. Do you want me to do that, Mark? While you. Well, you can just like roll with it and then. Hey, Robert, what am I up to? I'm working on my business right now, creating more content and working on my website so I get more leads and doing a bunch of that promotion. Tell us hi Jillian, how I got started in podcasting. Well, not podcasting, repurposing podcasting. I was talking. I'm so sorry, Mark. Do you want me to keep talking? Oh, anyway, how I got started in repurposing podcasts. Well, last year, about January, I would say January, I was talking with somebody and she suggested that in the back of my mind, I wanted to work with podcasts, but I didn't know how because they're not accessible for deaf people like me or the deaf community. So I was talking with someone in January, and they said, well, why don't you write blog posts for podcasters for their podcast episodes? And that's where the idea was born. So I just went from there, and that's how I got the idea to start repurposing for podcasters. Does that answer your question, Jillian? Okay. So what is the best way for me to repurpose content? For the podcast content, I would say to start with the transcript, because once you have a transcript, Robert, you can create all kinds of content from it. You can create blog posts, articles, social media content. You can create, if you have a video podcast like you do, Robert, you can do video clips to promote the podcast, which you're already doing right now. So you can do audiograms and things like that, which you're already doing, but you don't have transcript for your podcast. That I know, because I have been checking up on the podcast, Robert, and you don't have transcript. So can you answer my question as to why you don't have transcript? Hi, Dan. Hi, David. Great to see you. Oh, Jillian. Oh, did you ask me a question? Jillian, did I answer your question about podcasting? Okay, I'll answer I can't scroll up or down. Oh, okay, Jillian. Well, Robert, that's not a good answer. I'm not happy with that answer, Robert. I want you to start working on the transcript. And no, I'm willing to help you. No, you want me to help you? I am game for that. So just reach out and I will help you. No problem. Nothing, no strings attached. Okay. I'm going to answer somebody's question. Oh, Robert, you asked me, what is the advantage of repurposing content, the podcast? It said that more people will get to see you, the more your content is out there. Okay. The more your content is out there in different formats. See, if you just stayed with audio, how are people going to find you? Not everybody listens to audio. I was reading a post today by Irit Levy. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she said that she reads transcripts instead of listening to a podcast. So on that, and we know that more than 75 or 79% of trained people read transcripts. They read text more than they listen to audio. So there you have it, Robert. And so what you want to do is give your listeners more options to consume the content. And I don't want to hear anything about you being lazy. creating transcripts. No. I do not want to hear that. Okay? So, no, I can't hear you yet. No. Robert, did you hear me? Hello, James. It's great to see you. Jimmy Jam, it's great to see you. And Diru. Oh, yeah, Mark is blaming you, Robert, for turning off his microphone. That's really mean. I don't know. You can turn your podcast until you. That is right, Jillian. That is exactly right. Leaf magnets or ebooks. Those are great ways. That's another way to turn your transcripts into ebooks or leaf magnets. Exactly right. You got it. And so, Jillian, are you thinking about starting a podcast? I think I remember you mentioning that. Robert, are you going to turn Mark's microphone back on? Because that's really mean. You need to turn it back on. Do the voodoo. Oh, somebody's messaging me. I don't know. Anyway, so what is everybody up? Yeah, you are doing that. You can turn the LinkedIn Lives. You can repurpose the LinkedIn Lives to Jillian, just as you do with the podcast. And you can create promos and teasers for your upcoming LinkedIn Lives, which I know you're already doing. So that is a great way of promoting your LinkedIn Live. And of course, you can write blog posts, articles. If you have a website, you can start creating written content through your website. And whenever you promote your LinkedIn Lives, you can leave a link in the comments, not in the post, to your website so they can read your blog post. Oh, was that what you were doing, Robert? Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I thought they were kind of separate.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
But that's my bad mic, though. Oh well.
What happened?
I don't know. My big Shure SM57A microphone. I can hear myself, but it's not coming through. So I switched over to my webcam mic, which isn't the best, but that's okay. But can other people hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Can everybody hear Mark?
Rob Berry has two, but Rob's still pounding his chest and going, oh, I have two podcasts. I am Rob Berry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, bragging.
You can.
I have two podcasts. Everybody can you? Oh, fast, yeah. This auto keeps like closing on.
Okay, they hear me now. Good.
Okay, great.
All
Wonderful.
All right. So, Rob, you have more than two podcasts.
Okay.
I think Rob has Corporate Quitters, the tag, that audit guy again. Hey, Jimmy Jam. Thank you. It's kind of embarrassing. So part of the stuff, that's okay. Part of the stuff when I was talking in the intro, I was saying this was episode 18. So it's kind of embarrassing on episode 18. I'm having mic problems, but I guess my SM58 is not working, or 57A is not working. I don't know why. Anyway, so I'm on my webcam microphone, which is not the best, but oh well. Yeah, Rob says he has 4. Hey, D-Roo, we need to get together. So anyways, that's kind of cool. We did Q&A in the beginning. So now let's retread back, because as you missed, because my microphone wasn't working, ladies and gentlemen, this show is called Inside Leaders' Heads. This is episode 18. And if you didn't notice on LinkedIn, my LinkedIn people that follow me, I had a little diatribe this morning. And it was all about this podcast, because Juana and I have been trying to make this happen for 2 months. Is it 2 months? 1 month.
Yeah, about 2
2 months.
months. I
Oh
was
yeah.
It's
And
like
it's
3 months, but
yeah, and it's all been because of live transcription. And now I thought I had it down. And is it Gillian or Jillian? Gillian is now saying that it's not coming, even though I enabled it on LinkedIn. You can't do the LinkedIn thing anyway.
what are you talking about? Hey, Robert is saying that this is an adult episode, 18 and up. Why am I cussing?
Well,
Am I cussing?
hey,
Ooh,
Juana didn't cuss on
nobody
camera
would have
yet.
report me.
She did while we were doing the intro. She couldn't
Yeah.
hear me. uh,
Oh my God.
yeah, D-Roo, we do keep it missing each other.
Oh, Robert.
So
Really?
so anyways, this show is about the passion. So I gave you the questions beforehand. And I mean, we're almost already a half hour into it, so we don't have to really go through the entirety. But what did you think about those questions? I mean, what are your passions in life, and what is your current purpose?
Okay, let me look through my papers because I had to write this down because I was going to go through brain freeze, trying to go through this. What's my passion like? Okay. What
Oh,
is
who said
life?
S word? Did I?
Is that the last question? That's not even on your list.
What, the passion and the purpose? I hope so. This whole show is about passion and purpose. Did I give you the wrong questions?
Oh,
Wow, we really.
what is my passion and purpose?
Yeah, purpose and passion.
I could have sworn I added it. How about how did I discover my passion and purpose?
Yeah.
Is that
Well, yeah.
the origin story?
Yeah.
I know the whole show's about passion and purpose, outside.
So yeah, the origin story is fine. Like, how did you discover them? Everybody discovers them differently.
Oh well, I'd have to cover the chat. Well, I always wrote ever since grade school. I always wrote. I just had like a little journal, and I always wrote every day in my journal.
Which grade? Which grade?
Probably fourth grade.
Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote earlier.
Me too. So I was just writing in a journal, just making up stories. You know, I had a wild imagination. I just lived inside my head because I didn't have any friends and stuff in grade school. So then in high school, I did really well in English, and then I was on the high school newspaper writing, ironically, about music. Okay, a deaf person writing about music for the high school newspaper. So that's what I did. And then...
but you have some level of hearing, right? You can't understand words.
Yes.
But you can tell. You can tell, like, when I'm talking, you just can't hear what I'm saying, right? All right.
I hear you, but I need the captions. I mean, I can hear the voice, and I see you talking. I can hear the voice, but I don't know what you're saying.
Right, exactly. So that's interesting, because that brings up, because when we were setting this up, I realized, okay, let's just give me a break. My microphone didn't work for the first 15 minutes of the show. Okay, we got it. Mea culpa. But when we were prepping to come on to go live, I didn't even think about that, because we have Otter working, so she can see all the transcriptions of what I'm saying, to see what I'm saying. But then she likes the cue of when I'm talking, so we don't talk over each other, which, by the way, I'm super bad about that. And I apologize.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No.
But I didn't even, that's a cute thing that most of the hearing world would never even think about it. It's that you're not like 100% deaf, but you can't understand the words. You still use some audio cues. And we can help with that to build a relationship. Like, Juan and I are best buds. I mean, we Zoom all the time. Actually, we Google Meet. I must say, Google Meet transcribing was pretty darn good. Anyways, let's get back to passions. You're writing. I started writing when I was 6 years old, but most of the stuff until fourth grade, I wouldn't consider myself a writer. I mean, up to that point, it'd be like me, dog, catch.
Well, I just want to clarify that without my hearing aids, I don't hear anything. That's why I call myself profound yourself, because I hear nothing without my hearing aids. So with my hearing aids, I do hear a fair amount, but it's only like part of the picture. You know how I imagine a picture and you only see one part of the picture. That's how it is. You need to literally face the person when they're talking to you. And say, for example, if you're behind me, standing behind me and talking, I'm not going to know what you're saying unless I know you very, very well. Like my mom can talk to me behind my back and I would know what she's saying because I grew up with her. But
Right.
she very was talking behind my back anyway. Anyway. Okay,
but you know, it's weird. You know, it's weird. So, and this has nothing to do with my rock stardom. This comes from when I was a certified lifeguard, but I have a really hard time hearing in my right ear because I ruptured it when I went to save someone from drowning, and I forgot to equalize the pressure, so I blew out my eardrum. But what's weird because of that, in a restaurant, like with close tables, I can hear everybody away from my table better than I can hear the person across from me, who is the person I want to hear. It's very bizarre. It's like, oh, Joe Schmo, who I don't know, is going to ask so-and-so to marry her, but I have no idea what you're saying. Anyway, let's go back to...
Oh, that's too funny.
Yes, I am certified.
Are you still certified? Because I don't think you should be doing that lifeguard
crazy
lifeguard business anymore. Okay, so then I was on the high school newspaper, and I was also writing like this really bad romance story. I was writing 3 pages every day, but my best friend wanted me to write her story.
Yeah.
So every night I'd write a few pages of this terribly awful romance story, this couple stranded on an island, and like Blue Lagoon, that kind of story. So and she loved it. And I thought I gave it to her, but I found out that she didn't have it. I had it all this time. I should have taken it out, but I'm never showing anybody anyway. And so I just knew I was always going to write, but I didn't know what kind of writing I was going to do. And then my father, who was a professor of Chicano studies at a university in California, Dominguez Hills in California. He said he found out, he knew a lot of stuff related to education. So he wanted me to go into the Chicano News Media Workshop the summer before I went to college. And let me write this down. I wrote it down in case nobody understands what I said. The Chicano News Media Workshop.
No, we understood.
Okay.
You think, you know what, though? I bet you more people don't understand half the crap coming out of my mouth than don't understand you. You speak fine, you enunciate, you say the words correctly, and I go blah, 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 blah.
Well, I've had to work at it so people could understand me. Yeah, to kind of use me the workshop. Yeah.
And I'm like Rob, I'm lazy.
Well, to enunciate more, Mark, if you want people to understand you.
I know. Don't be Mr. Pepperhouse. That was one of my teachers. I hated him. I had bad posture as a kid too, so he'd push me up against the wall and he'd be like, "Stand up straight," and then he goes, "Enunciate your words." So I could do nothing right. Anyway, keep going with your story. Sorry.
Oh, you're gonna make me feel bad, Mark.
Oh no! I'm kidding. I don't care.
Oh, okay.
I like you. I don't like him.
Okay, so apparently, well, my father said it was kind of competitive to get into this workshop, but I got into it, and I felt so great about being in this workshop, and it was a journalism workshop for minorities, mostly Chicano people, but a lot of Asian people too were in it. I would say there were about 50 of us all together. No, not 50, but maybe 35 of us all together. So we created a newspaper together, and I wrote 2 stories for the paper. One was about the Deaf Center in Cal State Northridge in California. And the other story, thank you, Martin. The other story, I don't remember what it was about, but it was about some timely issue that was going on at the time. And so that happened, and then I went then I started college, and the first year, I was invited to be in like this experimental English course because they had seen my writing. I did really well in the English that first year. So at the end of that first year, they wanted me to be like an advanced English course. And but I freaked out. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. So
Hey, you said you wouldn't read.
So I didn't feel ready to do it. I was so young, I was away at college. I was living in the dorms, and I wanted to hang out with my deaf friends and drink and parties and all that stuff. And so I didn't feel ready. So that was one of my biggest regrets, was not doing that, because I feel like that would have led to some really great things. I think it was a really good program.
Well, you can still learn that stuff or do great things. I mean, I think you're doing great things now. So, yeah. I mean, look at me. I mean, I created a whole show over crap like that. My show Almost is all about that. Oh, you know what? I could have been in this program, but I didn't do it. But it was fun. I learned something.
Yeah.
You just got to go with the flow.
Yeah, I just wasn't ready. That was just the bottom line about it. But I still knew that I wanted to be a writer. I thought maybe I would be a journalist after college. But no, after college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't even know if I still wanted to write. So I took on these dead-end jobs, like I was a job coach. I worked in a group home because one of the girls, it was a girls' group home, and one of the girls was deaf. So they needed somebody who knew sign language. That didn't work out very well. I hated that job. And it was, but I, no.
Why did you hate it? Or what did you learn from it?
Well, I was kind of impatient.
Oh, okay.
It was in my 20s, so I wasn't very patient. I'm still not all that patient, but at that
How
time.
did the impatience affect the job negatively?
Well, you have to, these are girls in group homes. They have a lot of emotional problems. They're not with their families for any variety of reasons. But the deaf girl, for example, her family couldn't communicate with her. They didn't know any sign language, so she acted out a lot. So she had a lot of behavioral issues. So I wasn't patient with her, and so I quit the job because I realized that I was not good for her. We were not good for working together, and I didn't want to create a bad experience between the both of us in the group home. So I left. It just wasn't meant for me. I feel like now I could do that because I'm older.
Well, so now that you look back, do you think it was more like, now we judge it like she was acting out or doing all this stuff, but do you think she was just trying, the way she tried to communicate initially didn't work because her parents couldn't understand sign language? They didn't understand her, and so part of acting out was to get some reaction from her parents.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she was acting out. But in the group home, she was acting out in the group home also. She was testing us, testing to see how far, right, that's right. Testing how far she could go with us, what she could get away with, and, So that's why boundaries are very important.
Oh
So
yeah.
no, me and her could communicate fine, but she was still acting out. She wanted to see what she could do in the group home and what she could get away with. So 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 I had these different groups of jobs. I was worked in a photo library. Oh geez, let me count the ways. I had a temp job in a with a disability group. Oh man. Let me count the dead end jobs I had.
But what did
Um,
all that lead to? I mean, what job did you finally go, aha, this is actually what I want to do?
when I became a freelance editor, I really enjoyed it. That ties in with writing. So,
That,
but the thing is, I did it for 6 years. After all these dead end jobs, I went to UCLA. I'm sorry, UCLA Extension for a print journalism program
mm,
certificate. So I love that program so much. But then I did an internship as an editor with the psychology group. And I learned so much about psychology and mental disorders, and it was just really fascinating job. I did that for 6 years, and I really loved it. But then the owner moved on. I think he moved to Florida, and I didn't work with him anymore. This is the thing about putting all your eggs in one basket.
mm,
Don't ever have just one client. Have more than one client. At the time, I had one. I was working full time as a freelancer for 6 years. So I figured, why do I need another client? I'm fine with one. I worked full time practically. So
yeah.
never do that because I was left hanging after that. I said, oh crap. And so I had to take another terrible job. With my oh god, I can't even talk about it. But
That's okay. You don't have to. This isn't like one of those gotcha interview shows.
oh, I know.
Oh, no, no,
I,
Juana, you must talk about that because it's uncomfortable. But oh, did you see in the
not
intro,
bad.
in the intro on my post, I said one of the reasons I wanted you on there is because I called you, and I know now the little poopy things are going to come on, but I called you a badass editor. Uh-oh,
I don't
Robert, there's our 18-year-old show now.
know. Oh, he meant that. He meant this is your 18th episode. That's what he meant. Not that it's 18 and up.
Oh, is that okay?
That's what he
I
meant.
thought he
I
was like,
know. That's what he meant. 18 and up.
oh,
This
okay.
is your 18th episode.
See, Rob, want to get you, I don't. Figure that one out.
Oh
So
man.
what is it that fascinates you about the written word from Rob Berry? Rob Berry is inquiring mind and he wants to know.
Oh, good question, Robert. Yeah, um, I didn't know how to. I mean, I knew how to speak, but I didn't really know how to interact with people when I was younger. I didn't have friends until high school. So I just spent all my time reading, and then just immersing myself in these different worlds and these books that I was reading. And so I've always loved the written word because of that. It gave me so much comfort and company, and it's just the most amazing feelings to be able to read a book and just fall into this other world without not having to be stuck in the world you're in right now. So you get to it's a form of escapism. So to be able
Yeah.
to
Well, the odd thing, I mean, aside from the hearing issue, I didn't have that when I was a kid, but we are a lot of like, I mean, I went to the written word for several reasons. The reason I was disconnected wasn't because of hearing, it was because I'm on the spectrum. I have dyslexia, I got ADD, and I had several other problems. And then when we moved across town, I was bullied like really bad in many, many ways from sixth grade to high school. And music and writing and reading, they were my savior. If I didn't have those things, I could have been a statistic, I think. But yeah,
yeah, yeah. I'm glad we had that, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's a great escape. I mean, even I know I'm weird, but even like some nonfiction,
You're
even
not
though that's
weird.
like reality, it's still an escape for me. It's like, oh wow, that's a really interesting thought. I'll never use that again in my entire life, but it's interesting. So, so
Yeah.
how did you
We
come
were,
to what you're doing now? I mean, I like that whole. I didn't even see that coming, and I've been talking to you for like almost a year. It's like, oh, like I thought you're an editor, and then you're gonna work on videos and all that good stuff, and now all your well, not all your videos, but a lot of your videos and your posts are all about how to repurpose podcasts, how to use something like Otter or other transcriptions and repurposing them. How did you get there? I mean, I think that's an awesome niche. I think you could really kick it
yeah.
out of the park. Yes, mixed more metaphors, I know. So how did you
Yeah.
get there, you think?
So after I was editing for 6 years, I had to work another full-time job because I lost that one client. That's the moral of the story. Don't have just one client. So I had to work. So I worked for a year and a half in the escrow office, and that was horrible too. See, this is when I learned I really wasn't meant to be working for a company. It, it took me a while to learn that, but I'm just not meant to work the 9 to 5. I'm meant to work freelance. So, I,
Well,
but then,
how long you've been doing freelance for over a decade now, right? Like almost 2 decades.
yes, for almost a decade now. So 6 years then, I did an escrow job. I left that, and then I did another full-time job as a proofreader, which I really liked that job, by the way. It was, um, it was people of different backgrounds and different ages, from young to older. It was like a good mix of us working together in one office in a library. We worked in a medical library. I really enjoyed that. But then after 4.5 years, I had to quit to take care of my mother. So that was in 2011.
Oh, okay.
So I said then I was just looking for freelance writing jobs since then. And so then somehow I ended up on LinkedIn. I don't even know when. I ended up on LinkedIn, and I don't even know when that happened.
Yeah. I mean, I
But
like that. It's kind of like, oh, I woke up one morning and there I was. I was on LinkedIn. How did that happen? I have no idea. Someone took my hand, signed me up, and now I'm posting. I don't even know what this thing is.
yeah, that's
It is kind of a weird beast, though. I must say.
how it
I
was.
don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, I just celebrated my 365 days in a row posting birthday, and I don't know how that happened.
I don't know how
But
to do that. I have to talk about because I
no,
couldn't do it.
don't. It's all crap. Most people that well, the only reason I say that is most people that talk about consistency after 365 days of consistency, they're a lot further along as far as business, converting people, making money, etc., and having a lot of followers, which I didn't do that. So anyway, but it's not about me. The show's about you, Juana.
So you can talk about this stuff too. It's boring talking about myself. It's better to have a back and forth. Me talking about myself is very boring. Well,
Oh no,
cause
it's not. Are you kidding? You're
yeah, it is.
fascinating. No, it's not. You don't know how interesting you are.
No, it's not that. No, it's not that. It's just you yourself. You tell the same stories all the time. You get bored with it.
Oh yeah, yeah. You get bored of
Switch
your
it
yeah,
up,
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know. Yeah, I'll be
Okay.
like at a party, and I'll be like, "Oh man, don't tell that story again, Mark. Don't tell that story again."
Oh, okay. So the temp job that I told you about, one of the jobs that I hated. Do you want me to tell you about the ugly Betty story? Does
Yes, you said
everybody
you're
want
gonna
to hear
tell it.
about the ugly Betty
I didn't
story?
want to, I didn't want to push you, but you mentioned it
Oh,
when we
yeah.
talked about it. And one, I like Ugly Betty, and then two, it just seems like it's gonna be a great story. So here, let me prep it up. And now, Juana Poareo's Ugly Betty story.
Uh, okay, so the temp job. So it was a temp job. They were looking for somebody who knew sign language because they had clients that were deaf and coming in. And so they needed somebody who knew sign language, and that's why they hired me primarily. So we had a great camaraderie in the office because a lot of it's heavy stuff, just disability rights issues and things like that. So the mood in the office was light, and then the director was nice, and we had a great camaraderie in the office. So, but then one day the director's daughter came in, and she looked, I swear, she looked so much like America Ferrera, the actress America Ferrera.
Ugly Betty.
Yeah, yeah. I go, oh, you're the girl from Ugly Betty.
You
And
didn't.
then you should have seen everybody's faces. The room just went quiet. And it was kind of in a public area. My cubicle was in near the hallway, right next to the hallway, and the director just looked at me, and her daughter just looked at me, and everybody just looked at me. And then two of my coworkers, women that I worked with, they were kind of laughing, like quietly, because apparently they didn't like the director. I said they were laughing, and
But
that's my Ugly Betty story.
So she was offended. She was offended.
Yes, she was offended because, she wasn't ugly. She played Ugly Betty.
No, she wasn't.
I still to this day don't get why that was so bad, but I didn't apologize. No, she said after my temp job ended, she said we're letting you go.
And you think it was mainly because of that?
I hate being here anyway, so yeah, they were very offended. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, to the listening audience and to you, speaking of Ugly Betty, America Ferrara has one of the best TEDx speeches ever. You should go and watch it. It's about her superpower. It is awesome, awesome, awesome. Anyway, back to Juana.
America Ferrara.
Yeah.
Was talking about the character Ugly Betty. Of course, that's not what I meant. I would never tell somebody they're ugly. She was in Ugly Betty, and I meant the actress that was playing Ugly Betty. So, but there was no point in explaining it.
No, not at all.
Nothing was getting changed up. So,
well, I mean, one of the best parts about that show, though, is that it was almost like a metaphor. Ugly Betty, even as played by America Ferrara, wasn't ugly, but they worked for a fashion industry, and everybody there was like primped and frauded and all kinds of makeup and wanted to be perfect. And so it's just about, oh, if you're not perfect, you're ugly. That's not true. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, did you know that this Ugly Betty was based on a telenovela in South America called Betty La Fea, Ugly Betty in Spanish, based on that. And that girl was kind of homely in that original telenovela one. But they they did a better job of making her more homely. She wasn't ugly.
Right.
They just made her homely, but that's it. They did a better job with that. But anyway, Ugly Betty was based on that telenovela in South America.
And you know who the producer of that was, right? Salma Hayek.
Oh, the Ugly Betty? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I think she even directed some too. But yeah, it's based on that. What do they call those? TV novella? No. What do you call them? The
telenovela.
Yeah, telenovela. Where all the guys are like, "Hola, ¿cómo está usted?"
Oh, that's it? Oh, right, Martin. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we know something about Martin. He likes telenovelas. Anyway, that's cool.
Yeah,
If I could understand what they're saying, I'd be like,
okay, cool.
yeah.
Okay, so that was taught me that no matter how comfortable you get in an office, there's just some things you shouldn't say. So that was a big lesson.
And you never know what it's going to be, though.
So, not true. You never know how people are going to react. It's better to zip the lips and say nothing. So, so that is why I don't belong in corporate America.
And that's why you should be on Corporate Quitters with Rob Berry.
I'm an official corporate quitter. Yes, I need to be on your podcast, Rob. No kidding. I don't.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, corporate. I mean, you don't ask me about corporate America. Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with it. But anyway, so then what was the inspiration behind what you're doing now? I mean, it seems like a great combination of everything you've done before. You worked in you went to the Chicano news program. You were an internship in journalism and did the journalism program, got the certificate. You were an editor. You did some odd jobs like many of us do. Then you're a writer, then an editor, and then now to me, this repurposing thing seems, and correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of it is about editing. It's about repurposing stuff you've already written or said.
Yeah. You're not creating new content. You are basically rearranging text, editing. Yes, it is a form of editing. And then because most podcasts are half an hour and longer. So that's about 6,000 words you get to work with. And, you cover different topics. So you don't need to cover every single topic in one podcast episode. Just pick out a couple of important things. Maybe do a bit.
I'm only laughing because I need to listen to you.
I know what Robert talking about.
I was talking about being on Corporate Quitters.
Oh.
He's waiting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's about rearranging, but you have a little bit of creativity when you're doing social media content, micro content for social media. You have to pick out quotes that you think really would stand out and help encourage people to listen to your podcast. And then the blog posts and articles, they can be very long.
Right.
You can do a bit of research on your own if it's a topic that they bring up and that they don't discuss at length. You can do some research yourself and put it in the blog post or article.
Well, what's the magic? Why is 6,000 a magic number?
It's just an estimate of how many words are said in a 30-minute podcast.
Oh, okay. They've never counted words in my podcast.
It's just an estimate, about 6,000 words. So an hour is like 12,000 words. It depends on how fast you're talking, obviously.
Right.
If you're talking more slow. So you have a lot of information to work with. So say you have a podcast and you have a backlog of 50 episodes. You have so much content to go through that you can repurpose. But you don't have to do it all yourself. You can hire me to do it for you. So.
All right, that was perfect. That's like, because we're moving into the shameless self-promotion part of the show. So that's awesome. Yes, if you want to repurpose your podcast, contact Juana Poareo. That's awesome.
We're coming up to an hour. That's why we have 5
minutes. Yeah. So remember, you get to do the shameless self-promotion. Was that your 2-sentence pitch, or do you have another one? I think you should do another one. Make it clear. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to Inside Leaders' Heads, we talk about passions, purpose, the journey of the person, how they got there, any advice they want to give you, or you can just learn from them and be inspired by their stories. But then at the end, we give them free reign and do shameless self-promotion. So now, drum roll, Juana Poareo, here's your shameless self-promotion. What do you tell people why they should contact you and what you can do for them?
I just explained.
I know, say it again though. But it's like teaching. So when you teach people stuff, when you do training, you tell them what you're going to tell them, then you tell them, and then you tell them what you told them. So now you're going to tell us what you told us.
Okay, so I'm a writer who repurposes podcast content for podcasters. And so that's blog posts, articles, and social media content, video clips, audiograms, so that they can save time and money. So if you want to know how I do this, feel free to check out my profile or DM me.
Yeah,
And there you
and
go.
there's your name spelling right there, JuanaPoareo. So check it out.
Yeah, it's spelling my name right. Because
Well, you spelled it. You put that. I hope you spelled your name right. Yeah, you put that in there.
Oh, the hell? Oh, okay.
And by the way, if I were to spell it, I would spell it correctly as well. Although I must admit, I had one guest and I spelled his name wrong. And I noticed, like, in the first 10 seconds of the show, when I was introducing him, I'm like, oh, I spelled his name wrong. I added an I. It was Michael Dillard, if you know him. And I spelled it Michael Dilliard. I'm like,
Where did Mark go? Is it the green one? Uh-oh. Am I still on? I can't hear you, Mark, but I'm in the room by myself. So. Can anybody hear me? So should I just sign off, Mark? Woo! It's my turn now. Does anybody have any questions for me? No one's having some in the chat? Yeah, I'm gonna have my own show. Well, I have LinkedIn Live now, everybody. So I'm thinking about doing a summer show. Yeah, you went away, Mark. You're not in the room. I'm here all by my lonesome. And I am now the host of Marky Video Podcast.
there we go.
Okay, Mark.
I have no idea what happened.
Where the hell did you go?
I don't know. I thought you went off. It was actually me. So
thanks, anyway. The hostess with the mostest. Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, we swapped. So it's now a Juana show. So now I get to do selfless front. Juana's taking over Inside Leaders' Heads. And so now I get to do shameless self-promotion. Oh. Is anybody here still? How do you get kicked off? I don't know. I don't know what happened. And
I don't know.
Recently told me she got kicked off, so I was trying to get her back on. So it's really weird. Hey, guess what? Just think all the snafus. My mic didn't work in the beginning. We got Otter to work, so that's a good thing. So we got one thing to work, and two things went wrong. And yeah, I have no idea why I kicked off. I have no idea why my microphone didn't work. But so Juana pushed me to this. So my shameless self-promotion is I'm putting together a course.
Wait. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Mark. Time for the self-promotion. We talked about this earlier.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm doing it.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, better watch it, Rob. There's someone I don't like in history who said that a lot. Anyway, and he had orange hair. Figure it out, ladies and gentlemen. No, so anyways, I have a course that I'm working on. So my purpose in life right now is to help struggling writers, actually help aspiring writers who want to publish a book, and they're struggling to finish it. They're struggling even to write it. And so my course is all about, I'm not going to teach them how to write. I am launching a course called Find Your Voice, Path to Publication, and it's all about using my background as a project manager, a program manager, so they can help put all the methodologies in that place so that you will write your book and you will get it published. So the whole purpose of this course, it's going to be 6 weeks, but it's all about finding your voice, accepting your passions and your purpose, and then using that to drive and motivate you to finish your book, and then to put a plan in place so that you get it published and people read it and you impact the world. Because it's my view of the world. Everyone has a story, and everyone needs to share their story, because in sharing their story, they will impact at least one other person, and they could cause a ripple in the ocean of humankind and impact the world. Even if they don't do it directly, they can impact someone who's going to impact. So it's like the 6 degrees of separation. So it's kind of cool. Better fired than fried.
That was fabulous, Mark. I love that.
So DM me.
So great you're doing more promos. We have to do this at the end of every one of the shows. How many shows do we have? Like 10? No, 4. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You have 4 shows. I'm kidding.
Well, no. I have that 5th show, but I only did one of those. Spontaneous combustion. I should bring that back because that one's all about publishing. So the thing that's most in line with what I do. And I've done 1 episode. And then all the others, I got multiple. But anyway. So what if no one wants to hear my story? Rob Berry, I guarantee you
that's not
there's
true,
at least one
Robert.
person in the world, and that'd be me, that wants to hear your story. Your story is very fascinating. You are one heck of a dude. Yeah. Anyway.
You are one heck of a dude, Robert.
One heck of a dude.
And Dan and Deru and Martin and
we should. Let's thank everybody that was here. Yeah. Kimberly, thank you. It'll be like what was that? Romper Room. And I see you, Rob Berry. And I see you, Jimmy Jam. And I see you, Kimberly. And I see Martin, Deru.
Come on.
Thank you for coming, everybody. Martin, so you have any final words? Since basically this was your show, since I got kicked off twice and my microphone didn't work for the first 15 minutes. Was it good? Did you like it? I mean, you were worried. I thought it went well.
I thought it went well too. I had a good time chatting with you, Mark. So it made me feel comfortable, and I'm just glad my first live was interesting. Your mic wasn't on. No. All kinds of stuff.
I like that. Interesting.
It was interesting.
Well, now, yes, actually, this is the perfect first show for you to be in. You have a host that loves you to death and held you at high esteem and thinks you're awesome. And so that was a good thing. So then, you felt safe and all that. So that was good. But then almost all of the 3 main things that can go wrong, the host gets bumped off in the middle. That happened. The microphone on one of the participants didn't work. That happened. So everything that can happen, stuff like that happens. You just roll with it. You just keep going. Yeah. So anyway. Yeah. So we want to stay on, because we'll debrief and everything. But I want to thank everybody for coming to the 18th episode of Inside Leaders' Heads. I will try to do this more often. Because of the worst move ever, it kind of got disrupted in between, I think, episode 15, and then I've probably done 1 show a month, but they'll do 1. Huh?
Thank you, everybody, for coming. I really
thank you, everybody, for coming. Yeah, and I just always end with this, because I trademarked it, and I think it's, what is it? I'm not in control anymore, so I can't do. Oh, that's really interesting. Anyways, I'll just say it then. I can't bring any graphics because you're in control now. But I always end with, living your best life creates a better world for everyone, and that's the world I want to live in. So thank you for coming. Come back next time. We always have, I don't know if we always have this much fun, but Juana she set the bar now. It's always got to be like this fun. So other people like this, like if I get Rob on, Rob was on one of my other shows, but he should be on Inside Leaders' Heads. We'll get him in here. Anyway, thank you, everybody.
I'm glad that's over.
if you want to come back or whatever, I'll wait a few minutes. Otherwise, we can we'll just catch up tomorrow. So let me know. Well, I'll know if you don't come back on. All right. I'm just gonna text you or email you, but thank you so very much for being on the show, and I will see you soon. Bye.